underground was so busy with British bands that we had to go downstairs to the HB group hub.
You give me the signal there, Dinah. We're good? Yes. All right. Welcome, everybody, to tonight's Hermosa Beach City School District meeting. We will start with a call to order and a roll call. Dinah.
Board Member Barrow.
Present.
Board Member Gardner.
Present.
Board Member Bove LaMonica.
Present.
Vice President Clerk Cole.
Present. Present. Can you hear me? Present. 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 I'm on and saying present. Can anyone hear me?
If I make her co-host.
I'm on and saying present.
She's saying she's on and saying present.
We have a virtual present from our virtual board member.
I'm on and saying present.
I hear her now. She's on my computer.
Am I delayed?
There you go. Now you're live.
Okay. Yep, I'm here. Jen.
Are you
Thank you.
ever, Jen? Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Yes.
President Cluth. President Cluth.
Present.
All present.
Thank you. All right. Moving on to public comments. Public comments from the audience to the board for items in closed session in person. Members of the audience may address the board regarding closed session agenda items. Comments from visitors shall not exceed 3 minutes unless waived by a majority of all members of the board. Seeing nobody here in person with a comment. Dinah, do we have anybody virtual?
No one online.
All right. In which case then, why do I always forget this? Do I need a motion to adjourn for closed session? Okay, we're going to adjourn for closed session and we'll be back in an hour. Are we ready, Dinah? Yes. Okay, great. All right, welcome to the Hermosa Beach City School District School Board meeting. We're going to call to order the open session. Dinah, can you start with a roll call?
Board Member Barrow. Present. Board Member Gardner.
Present.
Board Member Bove LaMonica. Vice President Clerk Cole.
We got Jen back on? Jen, are you with us? In spirit? Give us a minute for technical difficulties.
She's on mute herself? Okay.
Jen, you're on mute.
Zoom world.
Jen, are you able to hear us? Okay. All right. We'll be patient.
Vice President Clerk Cole.
Present. Can you hear me?
Excellent. Thank you, Jen.
President Cluth.
Present.
All present.
Super. All right, the next item is a report from closed session. So in closed session tonight, the board discussed and voted on the appointment of the new HBCSD superintendent of schools. The board appointed Ms. Sylvia Gluck as interim superintendent of Hermosa Schools for the month of July. The board also received information regarding a conference between labor negotiators. And that is our report from closed session. So now the next item is the flag salute. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I think I'm getting worse. All right. The next item is approval of the agenda.
Before we move to approve the agenda as is, I would like to suggest to the board and make a motion that we remove 3 items from the agenda. Those 3 items are B-05-2425, which is the consultant agreement for the after-school sports referee services. B-09-2425, the Studio W proposal for the design of the Hermosa Vista School playfield pivot turf system by Tenkate, and B-10-2425, Hermosa Valley School Office Design Build Project Resolution number 170809. So I move to approve the agenda minus those 3 items.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, amended agenda approved. Great. Okay, now we come to announcements. You need to give me a second because I have some content for that I'm very excited about. Just a second. No difficulties, just delays. Okay, so our first announcement that we're very excited about is the introduction of Superintendent Dr. Susan Wilds. I'm going to just share a few words myself. I'm going to invite my colleagues to comment if they have any comments, and then we're going to ask Dr. Wilds to come up and introduce herself to the community. The board has already met her and enjoyed it very much. So it's with great pleasure and excitement that we welcome and introduce the new superintendent of Hermosa Beach City School District, Dr. Susan Wilds. After a rigorous selection process during which the Board of Education reviewed 23 applicants and went through a rigorous vetting and interview process, we unanimously concluded that Dr. Wilds should be chosen as, given her exceptional experience, proven track record of educational leadership, and outstanding academic and delivering outstanding academic outcomes for students. Dr. Wilds joins us from the Redondo Beach Unified School District, where she served for the last 13 years, most recently as the Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services for 4 years. For those of you who may not be as familiar with these titles, as the Assistant Superintendent, Dr. Wilds led all instructional programming, special education, and student services support from preschool through 12th grade and beyond. She led the district in an overhaul of literacy instruction in TK to 5, positioning the district to be the leader in the science of reading for Southern California. She implemented instructional leadership teams and principal coaching to ensure coherent improvement cycles and planning, and she expanded advanced placement course options, dual enrollment, and career technical education pathways at the high school. Prior to overseeing all instructional programming for the district, Dr. Wilds was an integral figure in the South Bay community as the principal of Vista Elementary. Her commitment to student achievement, innovative programming, and fostering a collaborative community environment has earned her widespread recognition and earned the Alta Vista Community multiple California Distinguished School Awards and the National Blue Ribbon Award from the U.S. Department of Education in 2015. In addition to being an established school leader and instructional coach, Dr. Wilds has over a decade of classroom teaching experience, in kindergarten through 8th grades, which is fantastic for us. Dr. Wilds holds a doctorate in educational leadership and policy studies from UCLA, a master's degree in educational leadership from Georgia State University, and a bachelor's degree in psychology and elementary education from the College of William and Mary. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Susan Wilds to the Hermosa Beach City School District. And before, I just wanted to invite my colleagues to add any other comments they have on just the interview process and how, and their shared excitement, I think, for your appointment, if there were any, no obligation.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just excited to welcome you. I'm new to the school board, and it's my first superintendent search process, and so I'm very, very excited. Everything that he said about you is going to behoove our district, particularly the language arts thing, because I was a language arts teacher, but I welcome you wholeheartedly.
Dr. Wilds, so excited to have you here tonight, but also your family here tonight. It's always great when you can show your kids all the great things you've done and the excitement we have for you and your leadership here. So we are so excited. You were heads and shoulders above the rest of the candidates and going to be such a great fit for this district. Thank you for choosing us.
Yeah, we are ecstatic that you're here, that we chose you and you chose us. It's really fantastic. Going into the interview weekend session, a lot of people said that it would be obvious by the end of the weekend who the right person was. I kind of doubted that going in beforehand, but by the end, it was obvious. So we're glad that you are here. We can't wait for August 1st when you are here for real, although we know you've been here and around and talking to the group and the gang and getting stuff done in the meantime. But yeah, we can't wait to see where you take us and the district and everything else. It's going to be amazing. So welcome.
All right, so we look forward to your visionary leadership and the dedication you're going to bring to our community, and would love to hear from you and a bit of a personal introduction.
Absolutely. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Board President Kluth, members of the board, the wonderful Hermosa Beach community. My name is Dr. Susan Wilds, and I am deeply honored to be here this evening. So first and foremost, I want to express my gratitude to the board. This is a marriage, and you are entrusting me with your children. So please know that I take that incredibly seriously, and my goal is to be worthy of that gift. So as we begin this marriage together, it's important that you understand what my North Stars are. The first thing you need to know about me is that I married really well. So I want to introduce my husband, Brad. He and I have been married for 25 years come November. The second thing most important thing you need to know about me is that I am the mother of 2 strong, hardworking 17-year-old girls, Hattie and Presley Wilds. It's important to note, so everyone please remember this, they are seniors at Redondo Union High School. So when we get closer to June, I'm gonna need frequent wellness checks. So just make a note. So Brad and I are not native Californians. I grew up outside of Washington, D.C., Brad from northern Georgia.
And having grown up and gone to schools on the East Coast, we had were a little had a little bit of trepidation when we got the opportunity to move to Los Angeles. Back in 2010, we were moving from Atlanta, Georgia. So we got on a plane, got our dog, got 2 3-year-old girls, landed in Marina del Rey in a corporate apartment, and had to figure out where we wanted to live. So while Brad was at work, I took the rental car and I decided that we were going to be very strategic. I was going to go to every playground in the greater Los Angeles area. I started at the Palisades. Later on, I'll tell you who I met up there. I went to Culver City. I went to Mar Vista. I went as far south as Long Beach. And I was at the Valley Playground. And I had 2 3-year-olds who, I don't know why all 3-year-olds are attracted to that caterpillar centipede thing. You know what I'm talking about. You know that they can go up, but no one can figure out how to get down? So 2 3-year-olds converging at the top, and I clearly looked like I needed help. And a woman came up to me and just introduced herself to me. And she was a mom, and she said hello, and we got to talking. And I asked her the same thing I asked at every playground, which probably was creepy in retrospect. But I said, do you like living in Hermosa? And she's like, no, I don't like it. I love it. And no other playground had anyone told me that they loved their community. And so we got to talking. That led to the Wilds moving just north of here on Springfield Avenue. And Hermosa became our home. My girls had their 4th birthday party at Valley Park. They learned to ride their bike across the field. Probably shouldn't tell people that. In the basketball courts. So joining Hermosa Beach to me is particularly meaningful because my family and I are proud residents of the South Bay. We've experienced firsthand the warmth and the dedication of the people in this community. And it's important that everybody know and hear from me that I am committed to listening and learning and leading with transparency and integrity. And I look forward to collaborating with each and every one of you to further Hermosa Beach City School District's goals and to make our schools the very best that they can be in for our students, but more importantly for our community. So thank you for having me, and I look forward to seeing you all very soon.
Thank you very much. Great. All right. Fantastic. Okay, the next announcement is recognition of Nat Rocker. Ms. Gluck?
We'd like to take this opportunity to honor the life of a very special man, Mr. Nat Rocker. Here to speak on behalf of our district is Jessica Bledsoe, principal of Hermosa Valley School, who worked alongside Jessica Jacobs to make a very, very special assembly for our students this year, last year. To the family, thank you for being here tonight and for lending us your wonderful father.
Thank you so much, Ms. Gluck. Ms. Bledsoe and I both prepared some remarks on the impact of Nat Rocker and the impact he had on our lives, as well as the entire South Bay. And it is my honor to be here this evening to speak about the amazing Nat Rocker. Nat Rocker will forever remain a hero in my life. Nat Rocker, a Holocaust survivor, had his childhood stolen from him by the Nazis. Forced into hiding in camps, his days of playing with his dog, being with friends, and being a regular boy stopped when Nazis invaded his town. Instead, his days were replaced with picking lice off his sister, hiding in a pizza oven for over 9 months, and the constant fear of death for himself and his family, all while he was just a child and only because he was Jewish. Nat said for him, the warning signs of the Holocaust began when kids began taunting him at school, calling him names and beating him up. Nat said it started when the school administrators and teachers failed to protect him. His mom's motherly advice at the time, not knowing what was to come, was to go the other direction, to avoid those kids. Nat said that he would never go the other way again when confronted with hate. This was a reminder to our students to not be bystanders when seeing anyone being mistreated because of their race, religion, or just being who they are. I am so grateful that Nat decided to tell his painful story, not just to his family, but to our students too. It was not an easy thing for Nat to have to relive these memories, yet he did so because he believed that it could show the students where hate could lead. I set up speaking engagements at Hermosa Valley, which was the first school to welcome Nat, and schools across the South Bay where Nat reached over 3,000 students with his powerful story. While Nat's story was heartbreaking to hear, it was also inspiring to see a man of such strength and resilience. And with his message, the students felt empowered. As Nat said during his assemblies, "You have the power to stop the hatred." I was extremely touched to see the response from the students and faculty who heard from Nat, which really spoke to the volumes to the person he was. A parent at Hermosa Valley told me that she had never seen a group of middle schoolers so enthralled at an assembly that you could literally hear a pin drop. A principal from a high school said that he heard from many students and teachers that Nat's stories were the most impactful things they had ever heard on campus. One of the most beautiful moments from these heart-wrenching assemblies was the line of students at the end of the assemblies waiting in line to shake Nat's hand, give a hug, and offer a sincere thank you. We received stacks upon stacks of hundreds of thank you cards from students, which showed they really absorbed the information that Nat shared and how they will stand up to anti-Semitism and hate and bear witness to a piece of history that should never be forgotten. It was Nat's wish in his final days that his story is not forgotten, for he knew too well the dangers of where hate can lead. It is our collective responsibility that the voices and stories for Nat and those Holocaust survivors who are no longer here live on. And it is our collective responsibility to ensure that history does not repeat itself again. Shelley and family, I am pleased to let you know that Nat's story will live on in the Hermosa community. We have plans at Hermosa Valley to share his video and tell his story for the many years to come to ensure that Nat's story will live on within us all. And while Nat is incredibly missed by us all, he will never be forgotten.
Jessica and I don't just share a name. We also share a love for this very special man and his family. And we wrote our speeches separately, but they sound quite similar, so I'll edit. As the principal of Hermosa Valley School, I feel incredibly fortunate to have met Mr. Nat Rocker, our Holocaust survivor, a very special man. I have heard his deeply moving story firsthand. His openness with our students showed them incredible trust and charged them to develop as kind residents of our world. We are immensely thankful that Nat chose to share his experiences with us at Hermosa Valley School. Nat served as a model of kindness, resilience, and courage. The lessons he shared during his visit will continue to grow in our hearts. His emphasis on never turning away when confronted with intolerance is particularly pertinent today. His message to our students, "You have the power to combat hatred," remains a vital call to action, one I promise to always answer. Anecdotally, I have had many conversations with students surrounding words they have said, written, posted, and text, which were less than ideal. Whenever I'm in those situations, I find it easy to reference Nat's talk with us by saying something like, "Were you not there with us when Mr. Rocker placed the responsibility to impart kindness on all of us? How does what you said live up to his expectations?" Tears would always follow. It doesn't, Miss Bledsoe. Then we work together to make it right. Thank you, Mr. Rocker. Your life has changed mine and will forever impact those who sat with you in person and those who will watch and discuss your recorded story in Hermosa. Today, we would like to honor Mr. Nat Rocker with a wave presented to his family. Shelley, would you kindly accept this token of our appreciation on behalf of your beautiful family for the gifts your father has so graciously given our school? Shouldn't have followed you. Can we take a picture? Yes. Thank you, Board.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for those important words and message. All right, our next announcement, curb appeal, Facilities Director Jay Petch.
Hey everybody, how you guys doing? You guys enjoying your summer? Well, thank you for having me, and it's always an honor to be here. For those that don't know me, my name is Jay Petch, Facilities Director. I'm going to talk about curb appeal today. I believe that our curb appeal at Hermosa School District is second to none. We're constantly working and constantly upgrading. Medallions and banners. Purpose for our medallions is to recognize the amazing work of our students and our staff. Our banners generate awareness to our sponsors and our schools. So the banners and the medallions, they're all custom made to fit the area that we hung them at. Sorry about that. Custom made to fit the areas that we made them to hang at. So those are really hard work to do. Okay, let's start with our preschool. Our preschool, we added a medallion, banner, and new lighting. We added a medallion to the preschool for aesthetics. We also added a banner to the hallway for a friendly vibe. To see them little guys walk through the school and they see this aesthetic and this friendly vibe, it just really makes them happy. We also added new lighting to brighten up the hallway and the classroom entrances. That helps them get to the right spot where they need to go. Next, medallion banners and flower and ground cover. It sounds like I'm repetitive, but these are all different locations where we added these things. So it's different appeal to different sites of Hermosa Beach. For the medallion placement at View, we chose an NPR building due to the height and the ability to be seen by all. Banners were placed in the front of the school for optimal viewing, and we also added over 300 new flowers on the hillside under the NPR. And we added flowers to our parkway. Hermosa Vista, medallions, banners, flowers, and ground covers. Medallions were placed on the side of the building on 25th Street for all to see. Banners were placed in the front parking lot, as well as the back of the school facing Hermosa Valley Park. Those are huge, where you could actually see them coming out of the bathroom at the park. Most was placed throughout Vista campus, and new flowers were placed in front of the marquee and the front entrance of the school. Next. Hermosa Valley. Medallions, banners, flowers, and ground cover. Medallions and banners were placed on the fence located at the front of the campus facing the street for optimal community viewing. So these things are like 5 by 5 feet, so whoever's driving by get to see all of our awards there, which they are amazing. Flowers were placed at the entrance to Hermosa Valley and the parking lot drop-off. So it's important that we have all these things set up in the school because, I mean, you probably all know that only 30% of our school community actually go inside. 70% of the school community are dropping their students off, and what they see from the outside really makes a huge impression. Our next steps. Excuse me. There we go. Trim trees, seed and fertilize, grass, flowers, and mulch. The flowers are important because they're seasonable. It gives us color. So we may have some flowers for summer, some different greenery for winter and fall. Stripes and parking lot, and safety bollard insulation. And with that, I'm open to any questions.
Thank you, Jay. I'll look at my colleagues. Any questions?
Jay, I live right next to Valley, you know, I get to see on my morning walk, and
I see you constantly.
all the time. My dog loves what you do there. But the trimming that went along, I think, with the side, I know you had to work with the neighbors on that. I think it really helps. And the only question I have is with the medallions that we put up. The middle school
Yes.
teacher in me just wants to know, like, do they have an enamel on them? So if a child were to get
That's an awesome question.
led
and
astray with a
so
pen, like, is there
they're made
a
out
way
of
that-
metal, and the outside is vinyl. So nothing they could peel it off, but we could fix them. And the reason we chose that instead of paint, because paint would fade. So that is going to pop for a while.
Great. And I think my last comment is, I love the seasonable flowers. It always looks so good, but the more we can go to drought resistant and native, I think the better off the district is,
I agree.
my opinion.
Thank you, Maggie. Kathy? Doug?
I love everything you do, Jay. We go way back.
Old buds. Great.
No, I'm good.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you
you.
for working so hard for our schools.
You're welcome.
All right.
Have a great night.
All right. Quite a disparate set of announcements tonight. Moving on to public communications. So this is the public comment section. I'm going to read the standard verbiage, and we do have one comment card. There are others that want to make public comment. Please let us know. So, members of the audience may address the board on any topic, regardless of whether it is listed on the agenda. However, the board may not discuss issues raised that are not listed on the agenda. Topics not on the agenda that are brought to the board's attention may be investigated by the administration and a report made to the board, either publicly or privately at a future meeting. Comments from visitors shall not exceed 3 minutes per individual speaker unless waived by a majority of all members of the board. So, having received one public comment card so far, I would like to invite Emery Chen up to address us. Dinah, you'll manage the timer? Thank you.
Good evening, President Huth, members of the board, Dr. Wilds, and the executive team. Emery Chen, Director of Youth Services at BC's Health District. I just wanted to take an opportunity as we are kicking off the summer to, speak on behalf of our entire organization, BC's Health District, and wanted to thank you for our continued partnership. Specifically wanted to take a moment to express appreciation to Dr. Jason Johnson for the collaboration we were able to accomplish over the last 4 years. I came in as a pandemic hire, June of 2020. And I think that one of the biggest accomplishments I have to say during my time with the district was our ability to partner with HBCSD to navigate the pandemic. And so to this day, one of the most meaningful and memorable professional experiences I have had. And so we welcome the leadership of Dr. Wilds, and we feel incredibly confident that our tradition of innovation and collaboration will continue. And we look forward to this upcoming school year for us to be able to pull our resources together, which includes, our Healthy Schools Service Agreement to address our shared priorities in the areas of substance use prevention, mental health, public health and safety, as well as physical and brain health. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Any other in-person comments? Not seeing any. Dinah, are there any virtual comments?
No one's online.
Okay, thank you. So I will close the public comment section. Then we move on to the superintendent update. Sylvia.
I want to let everyone know summer school's in session at Hermosa Vista for students in K through 8th grade. It began on June 23rd and goes to the 24th. We also have summer camps with Start Education in full swing. We have a half-day program and a full-day program with nearly 100 students participating. So we're very excited about that option. And then we are going to go over the annual report that you have in your folders. We're going to share it on the screen. Hermosa's, I'll summarize it, and we will be posting it on social media as well. Hermosa Schools are really proud of its impressive accomplishments for the 23-24 school year with our annual report. We are grateful for our families, staff, and community partners who have helped us achieve numerous milestones this year. Some highlights include the launch of our preschool, which we're really proud of. That has really opened up the door in regards to early childhood development. We've also done strong enrollment figures. In the South Bay, we have increased enrollment. We're very proud of becoming a destination school where families want to come to school. Community fundraisers from HBF and the PTO have helped us expand our programming, as well as expanded course offerings for our students and enhanced social and emotional support. And most importantly, strong community support and for our school facilities and improvements. So we will be posting this document on social media for our families to see, and we just wanted to share with the board and the public all the great work that Hermosa has done this last school year.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I think we're on a real roll, and it's good for everybody to know that. All right. That's all the superintendent updates? Okay. So now we move on to board reports. I'll look to my left first. Doug, nothing from Doug. Board report. Kathy, any board reports?
I have nothing.
Okay. Well, that was a fast item. All right. Hi, Ms. Levin. I think you're up next. Superintendent report and board discussion. Item R 01-24/25, Hermosa Schools communication update.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome.
Nice to see you. So again, my name is Eileen Levin. I am the communications director for the Hermosa Beach City School District. And I am coming today with an update of where we've gone since December of 2003. We're going to be covering also some of the accomplishments and some projects that are in the works. Like last time, this is a lot of information that I'm not going to be going entirely over, but it will be available online for people to see. Just what I do in the job of communications. Not all districts have that, so we are I am very lucky to be able to work for a district that offers this option. We have done some enrollment stuff. We did an enrollment campaign where our enrollment has gone higher than we anticipated, so we're very excited about that. We're working on our school facilities, school bond, and we're getting ready for that to come out. We held some communication meetings, and we made sure that everybody was aware of that in our community. We also collaborated with the city of Hermosa Beach with the Slow Down Hermosa, and we have some yard signs around town. We've been promoting that. Our officers, our Hermosa Beach officers, have been planting them in different areas around town. You will be seeing in the coming weeks a big banner, a street banner that's going to be Slow Down Hermosa as well at our locations on Pier and on Aviation. Principal marketing, I have been helping them in consolidating some of their information streams. We conducted a communication survey in May, and we wanted to know what our parents had to say about the way that we communicate. I'm happy to report we had 199 family members and staff all communicate to let us know how we're doing. And they did share overall, they were happy. 135 gave a score of 8 to 10, so I say that's really good out of 199. They were also very satisfied, which was great. Some of the takeaways from that survey was we need to streamline a little bit more our messaging. We also can be a little repetitive, as well as thinking more advanced in our communications. And some of them really noted the fact that we want to know about those school dances well ahead of time.
Sorry, that one hits home a lot. You wouldn't believe the talk in my house about the heads up that people are giving about school dances. Or the lack thereof. So
we'll be making sure that principal communication, especially that Valley one, that they know. Social media marketing continues. Again, we are steadily climbing. We haven't been able to give as much time to that, and that's something that I'm looking to really focus on in the coming year. Signature programming marketing, you saw that towards the end of, in the spring, we released the STEAM in education and how we're doing, and we'll be releasing in August one that's on our social emotional learning, so we're excited about that, and to let everybody know what our school counselors do for our students. Continual website management and branding of our very special Hermosa schools. Next. So I just provided some samples. We talked a little bit about them, the STEAM, the Slow Down Hermosa. I also planned the Hermosa Valley Senior Send-Off. That's always it's our 3rd year in the running. It's one of my favorite events, and we had nearly 100 students show up. And so that was really exciting, especially this particular grade. They didn't get their graduation because of the whole COVID, but that was really great to see them come back and to have our staff as well come. In the works, I'm working on an attendance campaign. I'm also working on branching out our community, our continued website in the respect to our schools. I want to do one for our each individual school as a Google site, so that way there's more information we can share about that specific school site. We're also doing one for music. We're doing one for STEAM, and those are just some of the additional ones that we're coming up with. We're also working on 2 additional signature program videos on our music program, as well as our athletic program. Our videographer has already been out planning, getting into that surf and getting some surf coverage of our new surf team. And some additional special projects that will be coming up in the near future. So I'm just really excited to share all that, and I am ready for questions.
Thanks very much, Eileen.
You're welcome.
I'll look to my right this time first.
I don't have any questions, but I appreciate all the things that you do, and I love that you brought the alumni thing. That is amazing, and I only have one more year of, next year is the last year that I was a teacher involved in it. So thank you for everything that you do. You're at every event, and you're taking pictures, and it's amazing. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I second that. Thanks, Eileen, so much for your work. I appreciate it. I like that I'm a top contributor on the Instagram and Facebook site, so I appreciate your content.
Whatever.
Yeah, no, and I really appreciate it as well. You, as Kathy said, you are everywhere. I don't think I've ever been to something you weren't at, and taking pictures and sharing the pictures. And your work on the video board at Valley, and some of us who have unique interests in what goes up there, and your help in those types of things, it's really informing the community and allowing them to, know what's going on, have a little fun with it. So it's awesome. So keep it up. Thank you.
Great. And I just want to compliment you and thank you for the work you did just in this past week. There was a lot of after hours over the weekend, early mornings, late nights, just getting ready to make the big announcement about our new superintendent, and really appreciated the support there. And that was just a microcosm of all the stuff you do for us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Channeling our old colleague, Stephen McCall, I was wondering whether on a branding front, those bright orange signs, I wonder if we're going to keep up with those or if we have any plans for the evolution of that visual.
So I was planning to take them down, but I'm going to be deferring to our new superintendent to see what she would like to do.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, we look forward to hearing what you guys plan to do there. All right. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
I was happy England won today for myself, but that's not really about the color orange. All right. The next item on this section, R02 24/25 Hermosa Schools Science Adoption. Ms. Gluck.
Good evening. I'm really excited to be here tonight to talk to you about our science adoption. As many of you know, textbook adoptions are one of my favorite things to do. In front of you, you have some samples from FOSS. There is a small little mini version of what a textbook looks like. And you also have a candy crusher that would have been, Kathy, if you want to put yours up. That would have been part of an experiment, a hands-on experiment that students did with metamorphic rocks to do a simulation. So I wanted you to have those materials so you can look at them to see where we're going to be at the end of the agenda for purchasing FOSS Science. So to have a successful textbook adoption, you have to have a great textbook committee. And one thing is it has to be interactive. And I had a great group of staff, administrators, and a parent that joined us and classified staff to make it dynamic. So thank you for the people who volunteer and put those hours in to learning about the next generation science standards, specifically their disciplinary core ideas, the cross-cutting concepts, and the science and engineering practices that go along with next generation science. We did pilot 2 curriculums, and what we really came out with was FOSS Science. FOSS stands for Full Option Science System. There is a high alignment with the next generation science standards. The one thing that came up really on top was the engaging student labs and how rigorous the assessments were. We found that to be far and above everything else that we looked at. And we also wanted to make sure it was aligned with the needs of our students and teachers. And as a committee, we created a rubric to decide what Hermosa wanted that was in line with next generation science standards. So how we put a committee together, we do solicit volunteers. Luckily, we came up with a nice group of individuals. Every single science teacher in middle school participated. We had someone from special education, our EL coordinator, to ensure that we were hitting all of our subgroups to make sure their needs were being met. Classified staff, they're part of our team and they help educate our students. We wanted them there. And we did have a parent on board as well. So what did it look like? We had a total of 3 professional development days that were full days. We did develop what the district lens was. We looked at the research in regards to science and specifically next generation science standards. And the most important thing was we developed a rubric for what Hermosa needed. And that was an interactive conversation with all parties involved. We then met the following week and we looked at a lot of textbooks that we were thinking of, but we really wanted to look at something that was K-8 in the event that the district would like to adopt for elementary. We would have a good handle on the components of these textbooks. We looked at FOSS, STEM Scope, Amplify, and Teachers Curriculum Institute. And we had presentations on all of those. From there, we had one more meeting. We narrowed it down to 3 and came up with 2 that we wanted to look at, specifically FOSS and STEM Scope. Our process was very simple but methodical. We wanted to ensure that our families understood that we were piloting, so a letter went home to communicate when the pilots were happening and what were the 2 curriculums we chose. We had textbooks on display in the library the entire time that families could look at, as well as students. And those were the breakdown of the 2 curriculums we looked at. STEM Scopes was first and FOSS was second. Our rubric was very rigorous, but these were the components within our rubric that we thought were really important for Hermosa. We really wanted to ensure the curriculum that we chose worked with the technology that Hermosa has. It was a single sign-on. The standards we've talked about, but we also want to ensure that we had a class book for our students in the classroom, and then a digital license for students to have to take home that they can use anywhere, whether they're on vacation, on their holidays, or they just wanted to look at what they were studying. Specifically, the rigorous and engaging lessons were one of the most important components that we looked at. Teachers wanted to be able to customize their lessons if they needed to. Could we use it on an iPad? Could we use it on a computer? We want to ensure every student had accessibility. But the labs, we wanted them to be fantastic, and we wanted students to enjoy doing the labs. How do you navigate the program once you're in the system? We wanted to ensure that was easy for all students as well as staff. And could we modify the curriculum if we needed to for our various subgroups? So now we're going to just watch a quick little video on FOSS so you can get an understanding of the labs. So based on that short video, you can see how interactive the experiments were. We did get cockroaches as part of one of our experiments, and the kids were coming into school early every day wanting to take notes on what they had seen, the difference from the day before, and they really enjoyed it. So that was a part of the feedback we did receive from students. So Hermosa's why. The student engagement, in order to have students wanting to learn, it has to be engaging. They have to be the learners. They have to have the questions. They have to learn the why. FOSS is very engaging, and the students really participated in all the science experiments, as well as the reading portions that were available for them. Materials, we are looking at an option to purchase all materials for the experiments for the program, so that way we would have it for multi-years. And there's videos that teachers can use as well. But the most important thing as well is the collaboration piece. We want our students to be talking about science. We want them to be looking at the next generation science standards and formatting those questions and learning about why things happen. Assessments were very rigorous. They're editable. There's question banks. The teachers can format the assessments as needed for their classrooms. They can also differentiate assessments for students as needed. We will be looking at a print and digital textbook as well. And one thing that the students really enjoyed was the science notebook, where they can keep all their notes for their science experiments. There's a lot of components to FOSS, but a lot of it has to do with the experiments that are included. The nice thing about it is the staff and the school will be able to put in an order for the pieces they need as they need them, so they don't receive everything at the forefront, so they have to store them. And you can see, based on your materials that you received, how the textbook is broken down in the different components that are in there. As a district, our recommendation to the board is FOSS Science. Although we went into this adoption looking at 6 through 8, we felt it was most appropriate to adopt for 5th grade because the students are on Valley campus. We are also being assessed in science in 5th grade, and we thought it was important that 5th grade students had the material, so as they move to 6th grade, they would be familiar with the content and the product. We are looking at the 7-year adoption, and the materials that come with it are listed above. The fiscal impact is $102,708, but we are taking the funding from the Arts, Music, and Instructional Materials Discretionary Block Grant, and that would cover the cost for the entire 7 years. So it's completely budgeted for. After tonight, with approval, we're going to go ahead and place the order. We would like to schedule our professional development for the first week of school for our staff. And we have set aside collaboration time for our science department, so they can meet 2 to 3 times a year to follow up with the curriculum and have an additional day with the FOSS professionals. The first professional development would just be a basic how to use the product, where to go, and then about 2 months later, we would meet again to have a deep dive, 1 full day with the entire science department and 5th grade. Any questions on science?
Great. Thank you very much, Sylvia. I'll look to my colleagues. I'll look to my left first. Any questions?
I don't have a question. I just have a comment that I think this is really exciting for our science curriculum. It's been a point of emphasis for many years now. As the father of a student who would come home and say on Thursdays and be like, well, what did you do at school today? Science, it sucked. It's so boring. To see the video and these materials, I think, you know, you want to come home saying that anymore, which is a very positive thing. And you know, get the kids more interested in science and what they're doing, particularly the hands-on pieces, I think will be a great plus. So thank you for all Sylvia, your hard work to get this done, the committee and everyone else. It should be awesome. So thank you.
goes to show how long Doug and I have been on the board. I was going to say, I'm so gratified to see this because for 10 years, science has been like the piece. So thank you to your tenacity on pushing this and for the board's tenacity on and commitment to putting the dollars here. I'm really excited. We've, I think, aligned on really great instructors who are now in the classrooms for our middle schools. So excited by their passion and enthusiasm for it. I'm really excited to provide our students with the engagement, the new textbooks. And then the third wheel would be, you know, with the bond passing in the fall, being able to provide really strong science labs that can then enable all these experiments. So it's that three-part wheel. We need to focus now on that third wheel of it. My question for you, though, is off of the ongoing budget piece. With the 7 years on that, so teachers at the beginning of the year, doesn't matter if class sizes go up or down, or I guess go up, they'll be able to say, like, instead of 29 students, we have 35 students in the classroom. You know, they can just still order those kits.
We can still order the kits. They come as a classroom kit based on a number of students. So if we would go up in class, we would probably need to order like one additional kit. But the way we had budgeted, it should cover a class of like 35.
Okay. And then similarly with professional development, if we end up losing one of our phenomenal instructors for some reason, how do we end up scaling our teachers into the new system?
So the nice thing about FOSS, their professional development team is fantastic. We can call on them. Luckily, our rep lives in Rancho Palos Verdes, so that's why we were able to get these materials quickly for you to look at today too. And they're willing to work with us in regards to any additional professional development. One thing about Hermosa that I'm happiest about is that as a board, you've provided us funding for vertical articulation. So the science staff will have 3 days of professional development and vertical articulation. And the nice thing about Hermosa, we have 3 science teachers, so they can always work with the additional person, and we can always bring in someone from the outside to help.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I have nothing to add, except I'm excited for the school to have a new science curriculum based on you guys working to get it, to make it happen, and it's necessary. Now we can work on language arts.
Thanks. This isn't in any way to question the work of the committee. I'm sure it's excellent. I'm curious, in the process, did what our neighboring districts are using or how this articulates with the high school, can you speak a little bit more to how that played into the process?
So we did look at our neighboring communities, what they've used, and Palos Verdes does use FOSS, and they have a really strong science department. And some of our neighboring communities are still adopting. Some of them have adopted STEM scopes as well. Those are the 2 contenders that are in the area.
Great. Thank you very much. And thank you for all the hard work. And these are great Smarties. Or M&Ms. Smarties is Canadian. I just got back from there. All right. Next on our agenda are the consent items. I think I need a motion.
So moved, minus the one item we already took out.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Great. So now we move down to board action. Item S04 24/25, adoption of a 24-25 school calendar. Ms. Gluck.
It is recommended that the board adopt the school calendar for the 24-25 school year. We will be sending out information to our families this evening regarding the calendar as well.
Great. And I think for the community members interested, I know there are many. There was some communication a few weeks back about this, and I think we've fleshed out a few other details like back to school nights, that kind of thing. So that's supplementary information that'll be coming out.
Yeah, are we still in alignment with the, are we in alignment with the other school districts?
Go ahead, Kathy. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I know
No,
I'm supposed to
please.
wait.
No.
Are we in alignment with, I think we were trying to align with Manhattan Beach. Did they finally get their calendar?
So our calendar is aligned with Manhattan Beach. The only 2 days that are offset is the start of school. We start 1 day later. We have 3 professional development days for our teachers before, and we end 1 day later than Manhattan Beach. Otherwise, all the major holidays are in alignment.
Oh, that's good.
Great. Maggie? Good. Another rumor I heard is that I don't know if that they have settled their calendar, but the rumor I heard was that they're hoping to, when they settle on a multi-year calendar, and then potentially that will enable us to go a little bit further forward. I know there were a lot of parents hoping to have a little bit more foresight and be able for planning a vacation, that kind of stuff. So we hear you, and we are endeavoring to do the same thing while also aligning with the school that most of our middle school students go to. So more to come on that. All right, if there's no other questions, I think I need a motion.
So moved.
Thank you, Doug.
Second.
Thank you, Kathy. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Next item is business B 0824/25, purchase of fall option science system, FOSS. Ms. Montalvo, Ms. Gluck.
Approval is recommended for the purchase order for FOSS as the district science curriculum for grades 5th through 8th.
Looking at my colleagues, any questions on that? I think we just probably asked our questions.
Yeah.
All right. If so, can I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Maggie.
Second.
Thank you, Doug. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. All right. Now, navigating the deleted items, we are going to move to B11-2425, Hermosa Vista School Paint Project. Ms. Montalvo.
It is recommended that the Board of Education adopt the CUPCA, California Uniform Public Construction Cost Project, for the proposal from Piana Construction for painting at Hermosa Vista School.
Please.
Oh, what's our schedule for maintenance? Sorry, I didn't ask this ahead of time, so you could give me any data on it, but do we have a planned schedule for what painting? And also, I guess with the termite stuff, just in terms of how we're thinking about is it every 5 years? Is it, what does the facilities require?
So it is in the facilities request, and usually, or facilities plan for routine maintenance, and typically painting is every 5 years. Yeah. And then termiting it as needed. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any other questions?
Nope.
If not, I'm looking for a motion.
So moved.
Thank you, Kathy.
Second.
Thank you, Doug, for the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Let's paint Vista. Okay, next item, B1224/25, Hermosa View School Bollard Installation and Striping. Ms. Montalvo.
Thank you. It is recommended that the Board of Education adopt the California Uniform Public Construction Project at Hermosa View School to install ballards and striping in the parking lot, a safety project.
Look to my colleagues, any questions on this?
Nothing.
Okay, could you just give me a brief description of where these bollards are going to be installed? Is it along the sidewalk or?
It's in the middle of the parking lot.
Okay.
So they're going to delineate
A lane.
from a lane from between the parking where the staff parks for a pass-through, then the ballards, and then a drop-off lane.
Just like at Vista, how there's the bollards. It's the same idea.
Good, thank you. Okay. No other questions? Looking for a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Kathy.
Second.
Thank you, Doug. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, great. Let's make our schools safe. Personnel, P0324/25, approval of superintendent employment contract. All right, this is me, and I just spilled my M&Ms.
Or would you
All
call them
right.
Smarties?
Well, I should have known. I think Smarties are tastier, but. All right, this is great. All right, this is for me to read. Item, I'm going to make sure I'm lined up and getting this right. P032425 on the agenda is approval of a proposed contract of employment for Dr. Susan Wilds as superintendent. The contract provides for employment for a term from August 1st, 2024 to June 30th, 2028, which is 4 years minus 1 month, unless terminated sooner with the following compensation terms. An annual salary rate of $237,744 in the first year, $246,065 in the second year, $254,677 in the third year, and $263,590 in the fourth year. 24 paid vacation days per year, health and welfare benefits and other fringe benefits, including master's and doctoral stipends, on the same terms as provided to other district management employees, payment of dues for membership in the Association of California School Administrators, ACSA. Do any of my colleagues have any questions on that?
Nope.
Great. I'm very excited about this one.
Me too.
I'm really hoping I get a motion.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Doug. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Welcome once again, Dr. Wiles.
Official.
Very excited. Woohoo. Okay.
I think wants a picture.
I think Eileen wants a picture.
We're going to get, okay, we'll do a picture. All of us? All right.
Really? I should have worn a different outfit.
Okay. Next item, P-05-2425, tentative agreement between Hermosa Beach Educators Association. Oh, pardon? No, well, I did. I'm sorry. I apologize. Definitely unintended.
Can't skip this one.
P-04-2425. All right, hold on. Yeah, we'll crop her in.
Yes.
Okay.
You said you didn't like your outfit.
All right. P-04-2425 on the agenda is approval of a proposed contract for employment of Executive Director of Administration Services Sylvia Gluck as interim superintendent from July 1st to July 30th, 2024. The proposed contract is an amendment to Ms. Gluck's existing contract for employment as Executive Director of Administrative Services. Compensation while serving as interim superintendent shall be at a monthly rate equivalent to an annual salary of $183,750 with health and welfare benefits and other fringe benefits on the same terms as provided to other district management employees, as stated in Ms. Gluck's existing contract for employment. If there are no questions from my colleagues, I would look for a motion.
So moved.
Thank you, Doug.
Second.
Thank you, Kathy. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much, Sylvia, for helping us out.
We love you, Sylvia.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. I'm going to move on now to the next one, but correct me if I'm getting it wrong again. All right, P-05-2425, tentative agreement between Hermosa Beach Educators Association and Hermosa Beach City School District on revised certificated bargaining agreement language. Ms. Gluck.
It is recommended that the board ratify the tentative agreement between Hermosa Beach Educators Association Certificated Unit and Hermosa Beach City School District for certified bargaining agreement revised language changes.
Any of my colleagues have any questions? Okay. Fantastic that we have made this progress and got some of the stuff out of the way before your arrival, Ms. Wilds, Dr. Wilds.
All for you.
For all of us and for our staff as well, I think it's great. All right. If there's no questions, looking for a motion.
So moved.
Thank you, Doug.
Second.
Thank you, Kathy. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Last item at 7:04. Board member roundtable.
No,
You missed one again.
I didn't. What?
This one.
Oh, this one. It says, oh, I'm sorry.
It's not on your game tonight, man.
P-06-2425,
He's
tentative
eager.
agreement between Hermosa Beach Educators Association and Hermosa Beach City School District on revised classified bargaining agreement language. You forgive me for thinking I'd already read that. Yeah, sorry, they are different.
It is recommended that the Board of Education ratify the tentative agreement between the Hermosa Beach Educators Association Classified Unit and Hermosa Beach City School District for Classified Bargaining Unit revised language changes.
Do any of my colleagues have any questions on that? If not, could I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Kathy.
Second.
Thank you, Doug. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Doug, what's the next item?
You tell me. This is your meeting, man. Your meeting.
No, I thank you for keeping me on track. All right, board member roundtable. Anybody have any roundtable items?
I don't. Since the last meeting, we haven't been really doing much, have we? Oh, except for hiring a superintendent, which was amazing. It was an amazing process for me being a newbie, and there's so much talent out there, but we did get the best of the best. So I'm excited about that. And that's it for me.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just say that I just want to echo Kathy's comment about, I was really impressed. It was my first time through superintendent recruiting as well. I was really impressed with the quality of the candidates that we saw. Overall, all of them. There's a lot of really good, amazing professionals, accomplished professionals out there. And I'm flattered, and I think our community should recognize that, to attract that level of candidate really says something about our district and our community. It's I took it as a pretty big compliment. But like all of my other board members, I came out very confident and comfortable with the decision that we made and excited about our future under Dr. Wild. So very excited about that. And I'll also say that, Argentina was a very, very tough hurdle, but if we could have got past that, I think Canada could have taken Colombia.
Very important, because of the minutes.
All right. If there are no other comments or items for a roundtable, I would look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second from Doug. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting is adjourned.